It's tables, ladders, and chairs, but a kendo stick is fine, I guess.
4 reasons why Roman Reigns was WWE's biggest flop of 2024. Roman Reigns is considered one of the top stars in pro wrestling today. Reigns' record-setting world title reign that lasted 1,316 days etched his name into the history books and established his legacy. 2021 to 2023 was ruled by the original tribal chief, witnessing the rise and dominance of the Roman Empire. Reigns put on incredible wrestling. Matches elevated other members of the Bloodline, Sami Zayn included, and produced cinematic storylines. However, 2024 was not that kind to the OTC. Owing to the following 4 reasons, Roman Reigns may be WWE's biggest flop in the last 12 months. Roman Reigns' last successful title defense wasn't great. Roman Reigns' last successful title defense came at Royal Rumble 2024, where he defeated LA Knight, Randy Orton, and AJ Styles. While the match was far from bad, it didn't set the world on fire and wasn't among Reigns' best outings in the squared circle. Among the 4 competitors, Reigns was the least protected, as Knight, Orton, and Styles hit big moves on the OTC. Solo Sikoa's interference was expected and felt unnecessary, as it proved indecisive. Furthermore, Reigns failed to live up to his promise of stacking and pinning all 3 men. WWE could have booked a train wreck and reaffirmed Reigns' dominance heading into WrestleMania XL. Considering the talent on display and the significance of the match being the OTC's final title defense, the Fatal 4-Way at the Rumble was underwhelming. Reigns was overshadowed by The Rock during the road to WrestleMania XL. The road to WrestleMania XL gave fans little reason to complain as it was packed with star power and top-tier storytelling. The Rock's heel turn and transformation into the final boss elevated Cody Rhodes' storyline with the Bloodline, but it took the spotlight away from Roman Reigns. The initial story was about Rhodes trying to finish his story by dethroning Reigns. However, his brewing angle with the final boss took precedence as most of the segments revolved around Rocky's beef with the American Nightmare. The lack of physicality didn't help as Reigns relied on Sikoa and The Rock, the infamous beatdown in the parking lot. Fortunately, the story had already been built with Rhodes' loss to the tribal chief at WrestleMania 39. The OG Bloodline reunion was rushed. After the fall of his empire at WrestleMania XL, Roman Reigns returned as a babyface to attack Solo Sikoa, who had taken over as tribal chief and made adjustments to the Bloodline. Since Sikoa had taken out Jimmy USO and Paul Heyman, Reigns had to fight the new Bloodline alone, often suffering beatdowns due to the numbers game disadvantage. However, the tide shifted when Big Jim returned to Bad Blood. Jimmy was a valuable ally to Reigns, but they were outnumbered 4-2 by the new Bloodline. Main event Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, estranged members of the OG Bloodline, had differences with the OTC, who had manipulated and bullied them during the peak of his title run. Considering his brother's betrayal and subsequent antics, Jey was rather quick to forgive Big Jim and reunite the Usos. The former IC champion laid down his conditions for a reunion, but his inclusion was rushed as WWE had to prepare for Survivor Series. Sami Zayn's inclusion was also expected, but again it was rushed. However, Zayn didn't have reason to betray Sikoa. His motivations for reuniting with Reigns were ambiguous, especially after the OTC refused to apologize to Jey. With less than 2 months between Bad Blood and Survivor Series War Games, there was never enough time to build tension and then lay the foundation for a reunion. Hence, the storytelling elements were compromised in this scenario. The main event of WrestleMania XL, Night 2 holds a special place in fans' hearts for the closing sequence featured WWE's Endgame moment and Cody Rhodes finishing his story in an emotional finale. John Cena, The Undertaker, The Rock, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, and Seth Rollins and Shield gear were involved in an epic finale that fans will remember for a long time. The overbooking enhanced the entertainment value, but it undermined the in-ring action between Reigns and Rhodes. In hindsight, this was the OTC's only singles bout of 2024. The loss and overbooking which overshadowed him undermined his performance. Real-life Bloodline members acknowledge Roman Reigns ahead of Blockbuster Clash against Solo Sikoa on WWE Raw. The Bloodline saga heads to WWE Raw when Roman Reigns battles Solo Sikoa for the Ula Fala on the premiere episode of the Red Brand on Netflix. Meanwhile, Jimmy and Jey Uso acknowledged the original tribal chief ahead of his match against Sikoa on January 6, 2025. Earlier this year, Jimmy Uso returned and targeted Solo Sikoa's bloodline for their actions following the events of WrestleMania XL. While Sikoa had his army, Roman Reigns and Big Jim were outnumbered. Later, the current tribal chief warned Jey Uso and cost him the Intercontinental Championship. In retaliation, Main Event Jey cost the faction their WWE Tag Team Championship to the Motor City Machine Guns. Jimmy and Jey Uso reunited recently at a live event for a tag team match against Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. During the introductions, the duo raised their wands and acknowledged Roman Reigns. Bloodline member could face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 41, says WWE analyst. Roman Reigns spent months away from the Stanford-based promotion following WrestleMania XL, and Solo Sikoa changed the landscape of the faction. After the original tribal chief returned to WWE at SummerSlam, he encountered new names in the promotion, including Jacob Fatu on Friday Night SmackDown. In an appearance on Busted Open, WWE analyst Sam Roberts stated a match between Reigns and Fatu will help the Samoan werewolf to reach new heights in the Stanford-based promotion if The Rock is unavailable to face the original tribal chief at WrestleMania 41. It's interesting that you could easily put together an amazing WrestleMania without The Rock, which is incredible. The idea of building Jacob Fatu over the next 5 months. And your Roman Reigns match is Roman versus Jacob at WrestleMania 41. It's incredibly realistic, Sam Roberts said. The two Samoans are ready to lock horns on the debut episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. It'll be interesting to see what transpires heading into WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. Roman Reigns' former rival added to Bloodline saga. Major star to get punished? 5 things WWE subtly told us on SmackDown this week. This week's episode of WWE SmackDown marked the final show of the Blue Brand in 2024. This closing event of the year featured many thrilling moments and announcements. Nick Aldis officially announced the rematch between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens for Royal Rumble 2025, set to take place as a ladder match. Additionally, the Bloodline saga saw a massive development. In this article, we will discuss 5 things WWE subtly told us about the Blue Brand this week. Sami Zayn could be moving to SmackDown. Sami Zayn clashed with Carmelo Hayes in the main event of the latest episode of SmackDown. However, earlier in the show, the honorary Uce confronted the SmackDown GM and hinted at having a conversation. This seems to be a significant indication of Zayn moving to the Blue Brand as part of the transfer window. As of now, the former Intercontinental Champion is a part of Monday Night Raw, but with the Bloodline saga being central to SmackDown, it appears that the former Undisputed Tag Team Champion is keen on joining the Blue Brand. Roman Reigns' former